Camp attention. Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2.
I think you're muted.
Don't I? Hey there, everyone. It's good. Is that a sign or what? I forget to turn my mic on. Okay. All right. Well, welcome to the live meeting. I hope you got some great questions. And we're getting ready for a big storm in lovely Orlando, Florida. So this week is going to be challenging, but we'll hunker down. We're kind of used to that in Florida. I've been through quite a few hurricanes, but Mike up there, he doesn't have to worry about that.
No, we have tornadoes and we have below zero, but everywhere has their own different weather challenges.
That's so true. So true. So definitely tell us where you are watching the video, where you're from. And you can tell us a little bit about yourself, like your town that you're from, and maybe your troop number or crew or pack or whatever you have. And we'd love to hear from you and have all kinds of questions ready to go. But before we get too far, I wanted Mike to talk a little bit about something we were talking about before we started, about merit badges. And I think it's really important.
Well, I'll start with a lead-in topic to that. I want to mention something yesterday. Our family participated in a Dungeons and Dragons themed scouting event at a nearby scout camp. And this was sponsored by a scoutmaster that just kind of acts as a clearinghouse for getting together scout leaders from around Minnesota and offers merit badge opportunities and stuff. So shout out to, he goes by Scoutmaster Bucky is his name. He also has a website. But so he inspired me to make a challenge that I offered to our troop, to the adults in our troop. I'd like to make this challenge to the viewers. So there are 138 merit badges in Scouts BSA, and I'm willing to bet that each and every one of the viewers has knowledge and passion for at least two of those. Yeah. Subjects of at least two of those. Probably more.
That's true. You have plumbers and people who do life-saving things like firefighters in your group. So natural to be a merit badge counselor. And it doesn't take much either, does it?
There's outdoors merit badges, sports merit badges, a lot of career-related merit badges. So my challenge to each viewer is to pick at least one of those merit badges, and in coming months, take some initiative and work with the scouts in your unit or nearby units. Something I'm trying to drive in our area. We have 4 troops in our small town, and there's not enough scouts in any one of them for us to do our own thing. We really need to be successful, need to work together. So I'm trying to push that when a leader in one of the troops creates a merit badge opportunity, to invite everyone. So
right. And this is true for all the scoutmasters. They're really to sit with the scout and come up with the merit badge counselor and that blue card process we talk about all the time. That's with the scoutmaster. When they get together with the merit badge counselor, it's important that the scouts go in groups. So you want 2 or 3, minimum of 2, because you got to have that, buddy system going for the scout. And of course, the scout leader also has a buddy system known as 2D leadership. So we need to stay within that YPT, the youth protection training guidelines. So it's very important that is also upheld with merit badge counseling. So that is very much a needed thing in our country. Throughout the United States, all Scouting America needs merit badge counselors, and stepping up and doing that is an awesome thing. So thank you, Mike. I second that that motion to get some of the viewers active and start being merit badge counselor. I know that I am a merit badge counselor. I know that you are a merit badge counselor.
Yeah.
So,
In fact, at our last troop meeting, as the scouts were doing their thing, I kind of stood up in front of the parents that were gathered at the room, and I said, "Hey, you know,
they used
together."
to
And
do
a few
parent
days later, one
surveys.
of them reached out and said, "Hey, Mike, how do I do this?" So
Yeah, it's a process, but it's not a hard process. But they used to do parent surveys. I don't know if they still do that in a lot of units, where they literally have a survey of what do you do for a living and what kind of skills do you do, woodworking, plumbing, electronics, what have you. You know, that's a great place to start recruiting within the unit, merit badge counselors. And then merit badge counselors can be just for that unit, or it can be in that troop, or it can be setups for only the district or only the council. So you can go and be the merit badge counselor or point of contact for that merit badge within your entire council. So merit badge counselors are critical. It's a critical need. It's almost like commissioners. We need commissioners too. So, but merit badge counselors, they're so specific because you don't want the merit badge counselor that only knows scuba diving teaching shooting sports. You gotta have that skill set. You know, that's the other caveat.
I think every one of our viewers is knowledgeable and passionate in at least 2 merit badge subjects. So
I would agree. I
so
totally agree.
It looks like we have some comments coming in. Want to jump to those?
Oh, good. What do we got going on there?
So we have Pin King 554 from the joining us from the Pathway to the Rockies Council.
Awesome. Welcome on. That's fantastic.
We have another viewer. Is a first-year Scoutmaster in Troop 163, McDonough, Georgia.
Bless his heart. Oh my gosh. First-year Scoutmaster. Wow. You have stepped up, my friend. That is awesome.
And just want to mention to the viewers what it says at the bottom of the screen. Please hit the thumbs up, like this video, so that it will help YouTube steer some additional people towards this video. Hopefully we'll have more viewers.
True.
I don't see okay, I think there's 12 people online right now, but it'll certainly increase.
Yep. Yeah.
Dean says hello from Western Illinois.
Hey, Dean.
Dean is the district commissioner working on his doctorate in commissioner science, and he will keep the jokes in a dad base.
Dean is well known for his dad jokes. He does those dad jokes. That is awesome. I'm a dad joke fan. Okay.
Pin King 554 commented that Colorado has a counterterrorism education learning lab that offers virtual citizenship in the nation and citizenship in the world merit badges, as well as crime prevention and safety merit badges. I had not heard of that. That sounds fascinating.
Wow. I'm not sure. I know that there's a law merit badge, and that would fall into that. And so I'm not sure. The citizenship merit badges, there's 4 of them. So somewhere there's those requirements are being fulfilled. It's not uncommon for scouts to start with one merit badge counselor and move over to another. That happens a lot at summer camp. They don't finish the merit badge at summer camp, so they'll find another merit badge counselor when they get back home, and they can finish the merit badge at that point. Now, some scouts, they get down to the wire and they want to get that palm, or they want to get eagle, or they want to get things done. So they go through all of those partial blue cards, working with that scoutmaster and getting that going. That is a process. So, and
Yeah,
getting
absolutely.
those merit badges going and getting that available to the scout so that they can actually finish those merit badges.
I think some of the most memorable merit badges that I've heard from my kids and scouts in the troop are kind of at a memorable place. Go to an airplane museum and do the aviation merit badge. Go to a power plant to do the energy merit badge.
Exactly.
There's
Go to a
life skills
nuclear
on there.
plant to do the nuclear merit badge. There is a nuclear energy merit badge. So,
Yep, nuclear science merit badge. Yep.
Yep. In fact, there is a NASA that's just on the coast from here, where I live. They do the space exploration merit badge all the time. So that's something you can actually, if you have a partial card, you can actually go there and finish up that merit badge. So that's the neat thing about it. And they've got the facilities, all of the, everything from the rocket garden that they have out there, the different museum things that they have. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
We took our kids to an aircraft museum near Omaha and did the space exploration merit badge there. And it was actually an overnight thing. So everyone got to pitch their sleeping bags inside the museum underneath the spy plane. So it was
neat,
quite memorable.
They do that with, I believe we have the Endeavour space shuttle. It's currently in a building, inside of a building, and they let the scouts spend a night underneath the wings of that spaceship. So it's quite amazing. Spy planes are cool too. So wherever you can do that, camping doesn't always have to be out in the woods. It can easily be at these facilities. Just make some phone calls, find out. There are a lot of places all over the nation, museums. There's different concert halls that have that available. So these are things that are available. If you're going to camp, you might even want to make a phone call ahead of time, especially if it's a long distance out of state camp and you're going to stop overnight. You don't have to go to a hotel. You could easily sleep over at a church or a YMCA facility. That's totally okay. So that's something that can be done. They don't always have to be out in the woods. Of course, the wood ones are fun too, but still, you want to kind of mix it up, make it an adventure.
Yep. Absolutely. And, some of these activities won't necessarily count as nights of camping towards the camping merit badge, but a lot of learning can be happen when you're sleeping on the museum floor. A lot of interesting life things learned. So we have one of our viewers said that in their pack, they do a parent survey. Excellent.
Awesome. That survey has been around for a while. I can remember my parents filling it out. So as a scout, it was definitely important. That survey helps the unit really get to know the scout and their parents. And there's always skills that they have. One of the big things we always wanted to know is, do they have a truck? Can it pull the big trailer full of gear? That was always a need for whatever unit you were in, to make sure that they had the facilities to get to camp. So that was important. They would always ask me how many scouts can fit in your car. And there was a basically it's how many seatbelts do you have? That's really the question. That's really the question. I says, well, if you can push a few into the glove compartment, then I can have more. But that's always a major thing that needs to be in that survey. Ability to go there to do camping. As funny as that, I was in a troop and there was a gentleman that was a construction supervisor, and he had a huge, this is back when they were gigantic, I think it was called a Hummer, It was gigantic.
Mhm.
It was like
Humvee,
it
yeah.
had bench seats in it. It held like 30 people. And we're like, oh, we've done it. We've got transportation. He would never let us use it. It was too expensive to go out off road, and he'd rub it with a diaper. He was very gentle with that vehicle. So it was, you got to be willing to use the vehicle you got for what we need. So that was, he was a good leader, though. He did a lot for the troop. So we were able
Absolutely.
to, yeah.
I would just again comment, everyone please hit thumbs up. I don't see how many thumbs up from any of the screens that I have in front of me right now, but
It does help. It does help the algorithm. It helps audience recognition for the video. When people put that thumbs up on the video, that really does help. So.
And Dean Roberts here, I think this is probably a Scout joke. He said, "Why did the baker raise the price of the bread?" And I'm guessing in a couple minutes we'll probably get to the answer.
Why did they raise the price of the bread?
Okay,
I'm sure Dean will. He's got some colorful ones, though. So so you have to be a little careful with Dean's dad jokes. Some of them are a little colorful. So it's funny is that we do have this late in the evening. But
you're making
our
too much
viewers could be anywhere, and anyone. So it is open to the public. In that, I did want to bring up one subject. The viewers, the members, of the channel. There's an opportunity that I'd like to do sometime within next year. And I want to have a members only live meeting. Won't be part of the regular Sundays, first Sundays, but I'd like to get that together. So if you're a member of the channel, I think that would be a good idea. I want to develop a team of maybe 4 or 5 scouters out there that can look at the videos ahead of time, maybe even the scripts, and kind of give me some feedback so that I know what to change, what to edit in, what to make better. So it's for the betterment of all members and all the people that see the videos. That's something I've been wanting to bring up. Kind of a core group, this will probably be done as a Zoom type meeting. Back in the day when during COVID, we did a lot of Zoom, and that was challenging, of course, but Zoom is one of those things we can have an open meeting with everybody throwing in their opinions and their critiques. That's something that I would like to do. So if you are interested in that, send me an email. YouTube gets upset when I tell people that my, email is ScouterStan@gmail. They get upset about that. I don't know why. I'm not sure. I think it has to do with, I don't know, robots or something that sneak around on the, and believe me, Google, the company that owns all this stuff, they're very good. If you're bad, they'll come after you. So I don't have any problems. Knock on wood. Hopefully, I've not had any problems with anything. But definitely send me an email. And if you need my email, it is actually in the description on the channel, so you can actually go and find it. But definitely send me an email if you're interested, and I will set up a date and time, and that we can all get together and just talk. I think that would be a good team kind of thing to do. And I'm just looking for a core of a few people. I think I can talk Mike into it.
I enjoy getting the advanced copy of the
well, I'm so glad, because it's just me. So I think it's a nice video, but I don't know.
Yeah. and I can also tell whether you're behind, and I get the advanced copy
on the day
before, or
that happens. things happen, and it's important that I have somebody to see it.
Yeah.
So
Want to go to another question?
Yeah.
Okay, Aaron is joining us from Fort Scott, Kansas, Troop 114.
114. Awesome.
And this is a viewer that I know well, Scoutmaster Bucky. He's the person that organized the event that we attended yesterday, and he organizes a lot of merit badge fairs, I think almost once a month. And so, all right.
That's fantastic.
He said, Mike, thanks for the kind words and shout out. He observes that some merit badges are very hard for scouts to find an opportunity to do.
Very true. Very true. Yep. I had a scout make the commitment. He was a 14-year-old Eagle Scout, and he made the commitment at his board of review to get all of the merit badges. Now, he's in Florida, so the snow sport merit badge it's difficult at best to do it locally, but we had facilities here in Orlando because we're a tourist attraction where they sold skis, and they have a roller ski hill that they can actually test the skis on, and he was able to get the basic training and stuff without the snow. So and then later on, I think there was another requirement he had about a ski lift. I think he had to take a ski lift or something for that merit badge. Anyways, he went up north where there was snow, and he was able to get that one signed off. He went to 8 weeks of summer camp.
Wow.
One after another. He used his entire summer for when he got out of school all the way through. He had 8 weeks. So, but he did it. He actually got all the merit badges, and some of those are tough. Like scuba diving is tough. You have to have the first requirements. You have to have be a freshwater scuba instructed certification. You have to have that. That's the first requirement. So it's a tough merit badge. But yeah, he did them. It was amazing. So he did it before he was 18.
We have a bunch of really great questions here, so I'm going to make sure we have some of them. Tim here from Minzy Trails Council in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
And he mentions that council employees, scout shop, unit commissioner, also think they're not employees. Okay. So question, which councils do the den chief not? You mentioned which councils have the den chief not?
The den chief not for the adults to wear. That's anyone over 18 in a troop. The adults wear. I was kind of viewing my frustration about not having a proper standalone knot for the den chief service award. Been trying to get that for almost 30 years now. And the BSA is in a process of deprecating out a lot of the knots. And because of that, when they deprecate them out, they're not very willing to hear, oh, we need one more. They're trying to decrease the amount that are out there. Weeblos is gone. Weeblos den leader. That was an all gold thing. It was beautiful. That one's gone. They're deprecating a lot of those knots away. So in that video, I was talking about using the den leader, adult den leader. It's a blue knot with a pip on it, which is a device that defines where it was earned. And if you put a troop one on there, that means you were a youth when you got the den leader award, okay, which is the den chief service award. So this is a workaround that I want to get out there, and it is so requested and so needed that this den leader with that device on it saying that it was earned as a youth, that is the den chief service award. Now, I realized looking at the requirements for both, that the Den Chief Service Award takes a lot more to do than the Den Leaders Award. Den Leader Award is mainly training and tenure. So that's really where that comes in. Whereas it's the same for the Den Chief, and they got a lot more that they have to do. They have there's 11 items on the requirements, and the last one has like 4 different parts. I mean, it is involved. So it's a far harder to earn the Den Chief Service Award as a youth than it is as an adult to get the Den Leaders Award. So this is a workaround. So if you're just wearing the Den Leaders Award, you got it as an adult. You earned it as an adult. But if you put a youth troop device on it, that says that you got it as a Den Chief. So this is a workaround. This is my suggestion. It's not policy. it is something I believe that would solve the problem, because like I said, the Scouting America wants to decrease the amount of square knots, not increase. So this takes care of that. It adds this on, but it defines it as a Den Chief Award. It solves the problem in many ways. Otherwise, the cord goes away at 18. It's like you've earned this really tough award, and then it's canceled, returned, taken away. So I don't think that's a very scout-like thing to do to youth that are becoming an adult and are very proud of their service for being a Den Chief. So that's the reason I'm thinking that this would solve the issue. So don't take it as policy. It's not. And it's really just a workaround. And I put it on the thumbnail so that people would be like, what is that? so they would get their attention, because it is something, and uniforms tell a story. So when you see somebody with certain knots, you can see where, they were in scouting as a youth and they did things, and they got their training, and they did stuff with the pack, and and they also did stuff with a troop and a crew and so on. It is, and then they got involved with council, and you can read that through what they're wearing on the uniform. It would be remiss to leave out something as significant as the Den Chief Service Award. So important.
All right. So we'll get to the next question here. So Ping King 554 is a counselor for a whole bunch of merit badges. Thank you for your service. He's awesome. A counselor for camping, first aid, emergency prep, sports, American heritage, and digital technology. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yes. I do cooking merit badge. It's by required what I do: camping merit badge, hiking merit badge, and then let's see, what else do I do? I do the scouting history, the scouting history merit badge.
Scouting heritage, I think.
Heritage. I keep getting them confused, but I do those merit badges. So, it's and video. I do video merit badge. So the video and videography, I think they call it.
Movie making, maybe? I'm not sure. Okay.
Movie making. Yeah. That's it. I haven't done that one for a while. So, and inventing. I do inventing and entrepreneur.
So here's another question from our new viewer, Scoutmaster Bucky. Comments: the trades merit badges, especially like metalworking, surveying, plumbing, can be very difficult to find opportunities for that.
True.
And something I will ask, hey, Bucky, in a future comment, how many merit badges are you a counselor for? I think he's actually counselor for most of them because he plans so many merit badge days.
Yeah.
So great deal of service awesome. There.
That's a fantastic service that you're providing for young people to explore these merit badges. Merit badges are a great way for young people to actually discover something that they may not have ever realized that might be their goal in life. That might be something they want to do. So that's a neat thing about a merit badge, and merit badge counselors create that environment so they can actually come up with no one would ever think of plumbing if they didn't do the plumbing merit badge. So, that might be something that they would do as a career or a profession.
And actually, I heard someone just the other day suggested that the automotive repair merit badge is so vital that someone suggested making it ego required.
Ooh,
oh,
that's interesting.
I'm not saying I have an opinion one way or the other, but that's an interesting idea.
It is. It is. We live in a very mobile society in America, and and if anything, if the future is anything like it was in the past, when you start driving to a job, having that vehicle being able to be maintenance by yourself definitely saves on cost. And it is vital that scouts know how to keep that as a resource and keep it viable so they can keep that job that might be just 30 miles away. So, that's, you have to be able to get there. And once you've done the job, you got to be able to get home. So having the ability to change your tires, your oil, that kind of stuff, that's very important. I know that when I was growing up, I didn't buy a new car. Okay. I bought a very cheap car, cash. So I had to do maintenance. So that's probably true even today. So it's important that we do that.
For many of these routine maintenance things, if you know how to do it, it actually takes less time. Not only saves money, but takes less time to do it yourself than to bring it somewhere.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. And believe me, you hear about horror stories about people taking their car someplace and they either mess it up or they don't do the work, or there's all kinds of problems in that regard. If it's something you can maintain, like air filters and oil changes and tire rotations, that's something you can do. So
but we just need to find a mechanic that follows the Scout Oath and Scout Law.
Yeah. That is true.
All right. Svea, I believe, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, lives for dad jokes.
Well, we have one from Dean. He'll have to repeat it, but it's a good one.
Okay. Dean Roberts says he instructs the personal management and genealogy merit badges. Thank you for your service.
That is genealogy is one of those things. Everybody came from mom and dad, right? So it's a genealogy merit badge is critical to know your past. If you don't know your history, your living history, you're going to have a loss of knowledge. And that's very important to keep that alive within your own family. So that's the thing about genealogy. It's so important. So it's a good merit badge.
So Svea asked, is NASA recognized as a merit badge counselor? They might employ merit badge counselors.
There are individuals at that work there. I believe it's at the Visitors Center. That's where they do most of that. The Visitor Center is kind of like their amusement park where they can take a bus ride to the different facilities throughout NASA. But at that facility, if you call ahead, you can actually ask if they have a merit badge counselor for the space exploration merit badge. And they usually will tell you, hey, we have them on Tuesdays, and they have 3 troops already signed up. So, it's fun.
And we have let me see, we just had a donation that I'm going to pop up. So
thank you so much. That is awesome. That helps keep the lights on. We hope so, especially with the hurricane coming. So that's awesome. Thank you.
And I will get back to, and I think this is back from when we were talking about we need to keep caught up with questions because we're talking about what NASA offers, and Bucky said it's the Space Exploration Merit Badge. In fact,
Yep.
I believe I've heard that some NASA facility is at Cape Canaveral
Yep.
offers
The one in
an
Texas,
overnight
too.
experience.
Yes. There is a space camp, which is a private company. It's just down the street from the visitor center at Canaveral. And the space camp is a private facility. It's not scouting. And but it is space camp does a lot of simulator stuff. And it's a sleepover type of arrangement. I don't believe it's a full week, though. I think it's only 4 days. So that is something that a lot of youth might be interested in. It's a little expensive. So you got to check into it, and it sells out a lot. So
I've heard of that. If scout leaders are looking to increase recruitment, have their scouts go back to school and say, yeah, our troop went, we slept overnight at NASA.
Underneath the space shuttle.
Whatever it is, that will drive excitement.
And then we set off rockets. I think that's part of the merit badge.
We better keep going on questions. We're about 20 minutes behind on questions. Did you hear the one about the letter with no stamp on it? You won't get it. Yeah, you won't get it. All right. How did we get started on jokes here? I'm not sure.
I blame Dean. I think Dean.
Looks like Greater New York City is great. Oh, in New York City, they can camp on an aircraft carrier and under the space shuttle. Yes, I have heard of that.
Yes, I believe it's on the flight deck. So it's not inside. It's actually, that is amazing. I don't know how they got them there. That's amazing how they got those vehicles. That's where they retired them. I think there's one in Texas. There's one here in Florida, and then there's one up in New York. And I think there's another one. There's 4, I think. But check in your area.
I believe there are 4.
There are aircraft carriers that do sleepovers for scouts. So that's there, throughout the United States, throughout the West Coast and the East Coast. Look in your area. So you don't have to camp outdoors under the stars and a bunch of trees and bugs. You can definitely do indoor type camping, sleepovers, that kind of thing. So that's a lot of fun. So.
We're going with a group that's going to stay on a submarine overnight.
There you go.
I think in December, and then in January we're going to sleep overnight in a cave.
Neat.
These are the submarine and the cave, very much catered to scout groups, so we're looking forward to it. So
is that the sub that's in Cincinnati?
It's the one in Wisconsin. It's on, I think, Lake Michigan. Is that
okay? Yeah, there's one up there
in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. I know people that have been there, and they've told us it was an awesome experience.
Yeah, there's a lot of subs too that cater to scouts and scout units. They can kind of rely on them not to break things. So that they're good kids,
Absolutely. All right. Dean Roberts answered, why did the baker raise the price of the bread? He needed more dough. All right.
Needed more dough. Got it. Wow.
Okay, we have a question from Svea. I hope I'm saying that correctly. If a scout initiates merit badges outside of the troop or the council that he's in, how are the completed badges received by the troop advancement person? And how are they added to Scout Book? All right.
That is a good question. Usually there's a blue card involved somewhere. We still have blue cards. They don't have to be blue. They can be white. They can be any color, really. But this card will actually have what has been completed by that merit badge counselor. It's usually on the very last back panel. They have a bunch of little lines on there where you can actually write in the requirement and the date. And that data can be added into your scout book. And from that, you have a partial merit badge listed at that point. So if the blue card goes away or gets wet or gets left in a pocket when the pants get washed, you still have the data digitally online. So it's important that scouts are told that. And if they go to a merit badge counselor, they need to report back what requirements were completed. That's really important.
That's kind of how it works if you go to a museum or a submarine or something that has a merit badge opportunity. But, there are a lot of merit badge opportunities where a trip to a museum or something like that can be used as requirement. And then you would just kind of work with the Scoutmaster to find a merit badge counselor for that merit badge closer to home. Right. And what I would suggest, if you're meeting a merit badge requirement, take a picture of it. Just show the counselor that, yep, I was at this museum. I saw minerals. I saw, whatever.
Yeah. If you're going for that space exploration merit badge, and you've made rockets before, I'm sure that whoever is doing that merit badge would love to see your rocket. So if you have a picture of it or the launching of that rocket, and, sometimes the rocket could be like a Redstone type looking rocket, and they might go over the history of the Redstone rockets and so on. So it is very important that you keep a digital record of these things, because it's so easy for a blue card, a paper card, to get lost, get destroyed in some way. So that's critical. You got to make sure your partials are also counted for. And if you're doing something already that's part of that merit badge, like a prerequisite to do that merit badge, you're going to have to review that with the counselor so that they can say, yes, you did that requirement. There's a huge thing with that. No matter where you are, you must, and this is in the training for every merit badge counselor, you must go word for word. If it says show to your counselor, talk with your counselor, it has to be exact. Those cannot be altered. You cannot alter any of the requirements for any merit badge. It doesn't matter if it's a scout camp. Okay. And I've had scout leaders get upset about that. Can't they finish that merit badge here? No, they can't, because it requires this. And it's literally, they have to go word for word. That cannot be changed by the counselor, cannot be changed. The only people that are allowed to change that is the committee that created those requirements with national. Okay. They're the only ones that can change that.
I think I would also add that a merit badge counselor cannot add additional requirements.
Correct.
A merit badge counselor can talk about something that might be interesting to the scouts, but can't add additional requirements.
Exactly. They might leave it as context. This. Let me tell you about this. For instance, bacterias. When you're dealing with the cooking merit badge, being a phrenologist, I like talking about bacterias and yeast and all that stuff. So I might give them as background. So that when we do talk about the things that could be a problem in the kitchen, it gives them an idea of what that is. So I might be something of that nature, but I'm not adding it. I'm just giving them more information so they can understand the requirements. So that's true with a lot of the merit badge counselors.
All right. Lance writes, I'm kind of new to scouting. What
Awesome.
tips can you offer?
New as in a new scout in a troop, or a new adult leader? Because there's two ways you could go with the advice. First of all, it can be overwhelming. I know that's true for the scouts and the parents that get involved. Don't let it. Scouting has been around for a very, very long time, and you can just take a breath, step back, and enjoy it. Scouting is fun. That's the big thing. That's the thing we don't want to tell the kids too much, that it's an adventure and they're going to have the time of their life. So because they'll all want to do it, right?
I agree. Scouting is fun. If you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong.
Exactly. And That's the beautiful thing about scouting is when you get involved, you see that adventurous spirit come alive within the youth, and you see the spark in the parents too, the parent leaders that get involved. You see that, and you see not just your own children enjoying scouting and their adventure, but you're also watching the others in the troop or the pack getting involved. So take a breath. That's what I would recommend. If you're a youth, don't be sitting there with the requirements and trying to get every one of those signed off as fast as you possibly can. This is not, be more focused on the adventure. Think about really fun things you want to do, like camping under the space shuttle. Doing a hike where there's a beautiful waterfall. There's so many adventures. Going to a camp that has the ultimate shooting sports. That's something that's out there. That's out there for the youth. And the adults are going to go right along and try to facilitate and help manage and try to coach and mentor those youth towards that leadership and try to get them into those adventures. That's what's really cool about scouting. So take it slow. Okay. Enjoy it. It will go fast. Before you know it, you'll be my age and your kids are no longer involved in scouting. That's the unfortunate bit there. So
Scouting only goes till 18. So
exactly, and then they got to be an adult leader, or go off to school or what have you. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. But from my standpoint, I wish somebody was there who would just say, "We got this. We got this. Don't." They're going to burn their pancakes. It's okay. You don't have to hover over them. It's okay. A little carbon is good for them.
Well, we better get to some questions. We got a lot of questions here.
I keep going off.
Okay. Sharktooth Bill says, "Good evening, ScouterStan." Okay.
Hey.
And Scoutmaster Bucky, referring to one of the other questions, said that merit badge counselors from across the country can connect with a scout if provided with the scout's BSA ID number and the last name.
Yep.
I know Scoutmaster Bucky facilitates online experiences as well. So
fantastic. That is a good point. Yeah.
And the traditional blue card is still a very viable option. Absolutely.
Yes. The blue card it's a physical representation, but take a photograph of it, especially if it's completed. Make sure you get both sides. That is an important thing. This is the record that your advancement is going to need to put that information in under your name and your ID number and all that. So ScoutNet and all that stuff has that information on there for advancement. So very important to keep that in mind. Blue cards are important.
I'm not sure if parents can do this or only adult unit leaders can do this, but in Scout Book, you can attach a comment. Something I like to do. Okay, this merit badge, Johnny did this merit badge on this day. This person was the counselor. It was this camp, whatever. And you can also attach a picture of the blue card or something like that.
Yep. That's totally fine. Advancement. I'm actually part of our district's advancement with Eagle Scouts, and I do a lot of work with the Eagle projects. There's videos in the works. So, I know that's a huge topic, but as far as our advancement, we really rely on the unit to keep most of that data up to that point. When it gets to the applications for Eagle, it's usually council. And there's a person at council that actually goes through all of those merit badges. One of the biggest mistakes that happens all the time, and this can really mess up the application, the date of when it was earned is what needs to be on the records, not the date it was presented, because that could be a month later. You need to make sure that the date that it was earned is on there. That is critical information for all scout book. Anyone that's looking for higher advancement, Eagle Scout, Palms, and so on, they have to have those merit badge dates. The day they finished the merit badge and it was signed off, not the day they got it, because that could be a court of honor that's a month later. So
months or several months later. Okay.
exactly.
Well, we need to keep going with comments. Nimrod Diaries says, "Good evening, everyone." And Pin King 554 took over 5 hours to put together a PowerPoint for the first aid merit badge, taking all the requirements as well as videos. I find that video clips can be really helpful to help teach something or help drive understanding for some element of a merit badge.
So true. So true. Now more than ever, because we have youth that are used to videos, either on their cell phone or mobile, their tablets, they're used to that. So having that available is a good idea. That's an important point.
So many YouTube videos, whether it's how to fix your lawnmower engine or how to do something in your software. So,
yep.
We have a question. Is there a blue patch to put on the adult uniform? I don't think there is. Is there?
A Baloo as in the Cub Scout training pack.
I think that's like an adult training for Cub Scout.
Right. I don't believe that is not by itself. I don't believe that the the introduction to outdoor skills for troops. I don't believe that one either has one.
IOLS is the adult one. Yeah.
Yes. And I don't believe either one of those has a square knot, but there is a training award, and you can use different devices when you got fully trained as a troop leader, as a pack leader, and so on. So these are individual devices you can put on that same knot. So you can actually earn that one. I've earned it 3 times. So the training knot, I think it's one of these. I'm not sure. It's one of these. It's one of those two in the middle. But that's a training knot. And I believe for Cub Scouts, Baloo is part of that. And I believe for Troop, ILS is that. So, yeah, you definitely want to do those. Those are great trainings. You need to do them.
All right. Do you have any comments to offer or things to explain to us about recent Order of the Arrow regulation or policy changes? I guess I'm not familiar with that.
There is one big change that they're no longer doing vigil names. I think that's the new thing that's out there, which I'm fine with.
How recent is that change?
I believe that ends at the end of the year. So the current class of vigil will probably have Indian names from whatever local tribe your lodge is associated with. They're trying to get it back to more of a, if you're going to go with the tribal stuff, that you stay within your local area. So, for instance, if you're in Florida, you would be doing the Seminole Indian type of, that's your local tribe. And if you're out west, you would stay with whatever tribe is out there, so that you don't, you got to keep them respectfully with their own tribes. I believe they are also doing away with dance competitions. So that is something that has been unfortunately abused in some areas. And dance is very religiously observed by some tribes. And so dance competitions of, basically non-Native Americans doing a competition, that is very hurtful to some tribes. So I think that's the main reason why that's been kind of nulled out. Now, I knew a fancy dancer who was actually a member of the Seminole Indian tribe. So They were fantastic, and hoop dancers and stuff. They do incredible dances, and powwows is really where that comes through for Native American run powwows. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a powwow at an OA Order of the Arrow type of thing. So they can have a powwow. Now, powwows are they open with an opening prayer. It's usually done in the native tongue. They do a lot of dancing, and a lot of group dance stuff, and it should be respected. No matter where you are in the nation, whatever lodge you are in, it should be done respectfully. And the OA is there, and I think it will always be the Campers Association, the Honors Association of Scouting. And there is a movement out there that is looking to do something that's more international. So, and there's a lot of people that are thinking of expanding that a little bit, and that frightens a lot of people at national. So it's not a very comfortable conversation. So it's important that we keep scouting's values in mind. For instance, when the dancing issue comes up, we need to be respectful. Scouts are courteous, and we believe in upholding reverence. And so when we're reverent, we have to respect others in their beliefs. So that's the important values that I get from it. As far as the naming of the vigil, I always thought that was kind of bullying, hazing / something. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Indian names. I don't go by my Indian name. It's something that it's nice. I know my father's Indian name when he was vigil. They give you a name, and that I think I've done videos on vigil and what that really means. It's a vigil honor. A lot of people see the little triangle that's on the sash, and they think that that's like the third level. It's not. It's an award, and you wear that little triangle on your brotherhood sash. So always keep that in mind. It's not a vigil sash. It's a brotherhood sash with a visual image on it. So that's the embroidery that's on the sash. So keep that all in mind. That scouting should be respectful and courteous, and of course, kind to others and friendly, all that stuff. So that's my take on the current policies as far as what's going on with the Order of the Arrow.
All right. Super. We have Scout Hero 54. Hi, I want to get all of the merit badges. Do you have any tips? And I guess a tip that I would offer is the scouting event. Is it scoutingevent.com website? You can look at what your council is doing. You can even look at if you're close to a nearby council where you can maybe drive conveniently. You can see what other councils are doing. It's a great tool.
Yeah. I'll tell you, as far as the doing those merit badges to get all of them, that is a wonderful accomplishment. But you have to ask yourself the question, are you going for just the merit badges, learning them for the moment, and then walking away from it? Are you getting the information from that merit badge? Are you learning about, let's say, for instance, the winter sports merit badge? Are you really learning how to do those skills? Are you just going through the motions? That's an important thing. Now, that's a personal thing that the individual needs to set for themselves, that goal of really learning these skills. If you really bring it to mind and you really work on those merit badges and get them all done, that's 138. I think that's currently what it is. That's a lot of merit badges. And granted, that is a huge accomplishment. In fact, there was a video I did on just that subject. I think it was on video or square knots that youth can wear. I believe that the patch that's on that thumbnail is actually the 138 all merit badge knot. Believe it or not, to have that. It's a privately done knot, and it's probably, I would say it's, there's only about 800 that have ever done that. So in the history of Eagle, only 100 or 800 of them have actually gotten all of the available merit badges at the time. So,
all right, we have Alfonso asks, how can I work on my adult religious knot?
That is a question for your chaplain. Find your chaplain. The adults in the unit can contact their adult chaplain. The adult chaplain and chaplain's aide work as a team, and get with them and start talking about the requirements. Now, the requirements are different for every faith that's out there. So the chaplain will actually be more aware of what's going on in your unit. So usually, and this is a subject I brought up in the upcoming video about chaplains and chaplain's aid. Usually the unit is attached through a charter to a religious organization, and they appoint somebody to be the chaplain. And that's usually an adult that goes through the training process and actually is there to help out a lot of the scouts that are from their charter unit, from that religious organization that are in the unit. That's what they're there for. So that might be your situation with the adult award. So just talk to the chaplain, and they can go through the requirements and things that you need to do to achieve that award. And it's worthy. I never did that as somebody in a troop. I did that as a youth. That was the only time. So it was involved. I'll tell you that.
So I see a couple newer viewers that are very active in the chat and very knowledgeable in things, responding back and forth, which is awesome to see.
Fantastic.
And I think this is a great opportunity to plug that, if you're getting value from this channel, please join. It's, it basically just the membership fees cover when you need a new microphone or cover the cost of
I just upgraded our software. We were using software from 2005. I was able to get a great deal. I used a coupon. I was very thrifty. I was able to get an upgrade.
And I'm really enjoying, I think we're using StreamYard for this live show. I'm really enjoying how easy it makes it.
That's what that pays for. StreamYard is a business, so they have a service here.
There's costs for all this stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we have Aaron just got home from Fall Fellowship with Kansa Lodge 198 in Cuerva County, Kansas.
Wow, that is awesome. For those who don't know, the OA guys and girls that are in the Order of the Arrow, they have usually 4 events every year, and that's one big one. So that's a huge one. They just came back from his lodge. Each lodge does them in different schedules and so on. So amazing.
Yep. And here's a comment from Scoutmaster Bucky. Reducing the number of knots on adult leader uniforms keeps them from looking like Turkish general uniforms. Okay.
True.
And I think he points out, I think this is a really good point. The guide to insignia recommend no more than 9 knots.
3 rows of 3. The 3 knots together actually covers the pocket, the length of the pocket that's on the standard shirt. And then 3 rows up, that's a total of 9. So you have to pick 9 that you want to put on the uniform to tell the story. You could tell the story, okay, with 9. I'm kind of torn because one of my best friends as a commissioner has 8 rows. He has done so much. He was in Cub Scouts. He was a den leader. He did so much. And I believe that if you've earned it, why not put it on your uniform? That's my personal opinion. But if you go by the guide to scouting and the guide for insignia, that's 3 rows. So you got to pick what you want. Now, there's obviously some that you're always going to have on there. There are some that are very important, and there's some that you just got and didn't know. Like you're at round table. They said, "Hey, you got this award."
All right. So here's a super chat from Sharktooth Bill. We put it up a little while ago. I'm not sure that we specifically answered the question. What badge can an adult earn? So an adult can't really earn merit badges, but there's knots and things.
The knots usually follow through on like training. Those are training knots, and you can get them for all kinds of things within whatever scouting level you're at. So if you're with the troop level, the pack level, the district level, if you're at different levels, you can actually earn the training knot. By doing all of your online training, do all the live training that's offered, you need to do all of the training that's there. That's usually the training award. There's other ones for different units. There is a knot video on the channel. Definitely check that out. The thumbnail is all the knots. It's like a wallpaper of knots. It is that. Check out that video. It literally lists off all the different ones. There is a follow-up video to that, and that's for the youth. There are knots that the youth can wear, such as the religious award knot. Mine was God and Country. That's what I had earned. And it's a blue knot, a blue background with a silver rope on it. So that's that's one that the youth can wear as youth. They can wear those knots. There are other ones that they can also wear. So that's
Okay.
is out there. That is actually part of the insignia guide. So they have that in there. So there are knots for adults, and there's primarily for adults, and then the rest of them can be youth or adult. There's different articles. I believe in that video there are all kinds of links in the descriptions. If you go down in the descriptions, there's links to other things, other articles about the subject. So I believe on that one, there's some stuff in there that talks about which ones can be adult or youth or only adult and so on. So there are different kinds that are in there. There are some big ones, and I did a video on that, that are the District Award of Merit. That's a huge one. And then you also have Silver Beaver, which is your council's highest award that they give. Then you have Silver Antelope, and then you have the Buffalo. So those are the big, huge awards, depending on the levels. Antelope, I believe, is region, or not region. They call them areas, I think now. But it's different parts of the United States. And then you have, of course, the national one, which is the Buffalo. So those are knots too. So there's knots for a lot of things. But there was far more recently. There was almost every den, whether it be a Weeblo's den, Weeblo's had a 1 and 2 at one point. I mean, there's been so many knots in the past. But once you have earned them, you can wear them the rest of the time in scouting. So you earned the Weeblo's knot that's no longer out there, no longer available, but you earned it before it was deprecated. You can wear it. It tells
super. And I'm seeing there's a lot of active chatting going on, and I'm so happy that there's knowledge being exchanged amongst experts on the chat. So I'm so happy to hear this.
Awesome.
And Bob White, CJ, greetings from Southwest Louisiana.
Bob White, woohoo!
Okay, and I'm going to. Some of these were about half an hour behind on questions, so I'm going to try to some things that we've already kind of passed over, and I think I'll skip some questions so we can catch up.
Okay.
Hey, I'm doing my first class board review on Friday. What can you recommend?
Oh, you know what I recommend, and this is true for every rank. And I often coach new scouts that are going for their next rank. And this is true for Eagle even. I say that when you are thinking about the answer to any of the questions that they ask, think about the Scout Oath and the Scout Law and how that has influenced your answer. That's what I recommend. I recommend thinking about that because Scout Oath and Scout Law are the core values of scouting. And that's really what the Board of Review wants to know. Is that message getting through? Is that coming through in your path towards your advancement? That's what I recommend.
And I think Scout, I won't put it on the screen, but Scoutmaster Bucky clarified something that I kind of misspoke a little bit. So in his council, their advancement committee puts a limit of 20 merit badges that a particular counselor can sign up for. And because he kind of offers this program, arranges some things, he's listed for many more than that merit badges. And, you know, in fact, I recently did something that I sent in a merit badge thing for to become a counselor for fingerprinting merit badge. And I explained to our district executive that I do not intend to teach the class. It will be a police officer that teaches it, but just for administrative purposes, I'll be the counselor for it. So
right. You're there to make sure that the requirements are met and sign them off. So that's fantastic. I mean, teachers can do that too. So if a teacher at a school, chemistry teachers, whatever, you know, they could actually help out and have some adult come in and work with them and the scouts so that they can make sure that the requirements are met and that they're signed off appropriately. So that's very good point. Very good point. Now, the limitation on that really is to decrease the spreadsheet. Okay. It is. Some people just say all. So I don't know if they're qualified to do all, but you know, it's an honor system for the counselors to do that. There's no exam or anything. So
we need some more dad jokes here. How do you put a baby alien to sleep? You rack it.
You rock it.
Okay. Yeah, this, you know, jokes that
have that sound effect, you know, that boom, boom, you know.
Kind of dry humor can be dad jokes.
Scouter jokes
can be a great part of scouting.
Yeah, that's true. You got to laugh and smile. You know, so important.
You know, what did Sushi A say to Sushi B? Wasabi. Okay, very funny. Another nice thing about, I believe it's Greater New York City, is having the largest council-owned reservation. And we have a family camp with 5-person cabins that also allow you to access other facilities at set times. That's great.
Wow. Yes. New York Council is interesting because each borough of New York City has their own council, but they're all centralized. So it's almost like the Mass Bay Confederated stuff. I mean, back in the day. So it was a little bit different. So the way the councils work are just amazing. I'm always so pleased with the professional scouters that are out there. There's so many that are donating so much time. They really do. And their heart is so into helping scouting succeed. And these camps, they can't run without help. They have to have the volunteers. They have to have the professionals. Professionals do the icky stuff that nobody else wants to do. Okay. They don't want to do the accounting. You know, they don't want to do that. You don't want to work the HR stuff on the terrible cases that might happen. So let the professionals do it. I am so grateful for all the professionals in scouting. It just would, the whole thing would fall apart. We have to have these professionals there, just to have that structure. Otherwise, the volunteers would be volunteering, but they could be going off in any direction, like a rocket with any guidance system on it. So gotta have that. And I'm so grateful for the professionals doing that. And the bigger the council, the more professionals you have to have. It's just it's an inevitability. You got to have it. So definitely my hat is off to the professionals.
All right. So this is referencing a question that someone asked previously about a patch. And this listener is mentioning Class B is a website that is licensed by Scouting America to make certain patches that are, allowed to be part of the uniform. I think they can make just various things that are more special interest. So, yeah.
True. They can. Class B is an awesome company. I've been looking around to have a patrol patch made. So I need to contact them. I met up with them at the national conference, and we had a conversation about that. So I do need to follow up on some emails to them. There are other companies out there. Sunshine down here makes patches. There's different ones because they are licensed by the BSA, and they have that backing that usually has the BSA logos and stuff on it. Doesn't mean that that's automatically available for your uniform, okay, or appropriate. So they do make joke patches, joke merit badges, that are not real, but they may not put that on the back of them for that reason. So definitely make sure that you're getting the right patch. Most of the stuff that's coming from the supply division from Texas through Texas, that's usually done with that backing on it. So you can almost kind of rely that's okay to put on the uniform. The worst thing you could do is put something on the uniform, and then getting all kinds of people pointing at it, and you're not really telling the story. You're using the the cheap graphics per se. You need to get the right thing to put on the uniform. So definitely try to stay as close to that guide as possible. I am not, and I don't think anyone should be the police, to make sure that all the knots are correct and that the right spacing, and pull out a ruler and all that. No, not me. There should be some liberty with your story, but nothing that would be off the wall. So try to stay within those guidelines.
So here's a question that I really like, and it's a question for all the viewers. What merit badge topic or subject do people think should become a merit badge? And a suggestion is sewing. I think sewing is a useful skill.
It is. And it's something that is not even, there used to be home ec back in the day. Then that was something that all seniors had to have in high school. They had to have a home ec thing where they could actually make an apple pie and be able to sew up a button. And, sewing is an incredible skill. And we've lost a lot of the basic skills. And we need to get back to that, and especially within scouting. There's been many times when I was youth and I'd be out running around or hiking and something would tear, the trousers tore or the shirt tore. And without that little sewing kit, it doesn't hardly weigh anything. It's less than a gram. And you can get in there and sew that thing together and be able to do your trip without it fraying apart and having a problem. So having that ability is so important. How to do a lock stitch. A lot of people don't know that. Most of my sewing has been leather. I've sewed a lot of leather wallets together and stuff like that. So that kind of falls through to cloth and actual thread. So it's a skill.
Well, Stan,
that's a merit badge that actually exists in the Girl Scouts. So if the Girl Guides that are out there, that's a merit badge they actually have.
Super. So I think we have a super chat, a donation of $50 towards the channel. Thank you, Scoutmaster Bucky. And
awesome. Thank you so much.
In fact, I also just texted him, since I know him personally. I said, "Hey, why don't you become a new member?" I'm not I'm not sure if you can become a member other than during the live show.
Uh,
So I said, hey,
yes,
why
you
don't
can. Anytime,
oh, you
anytime you
can.
can be a
Okay,
member.
yeah.
That's
Okay, no,
awesome.
I joined during the live show, and I was kind of surprised when you're just running the live show solo. It popped up my screen name. Hey, welcome as a member. I didn't know that, but
Well, you
and
know,
even
they get the little scout symbol next to their name now. So the little round scout symbol, and that changes color the longer they're a member. So
yeah,
it's a neat
super.
thing. Yeah.
And he also gifted 10 memberships.
Oh
So
my.
thank you
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. At $50 goes a long way because it helps. That software wasn't cheap. I'm still learning it. It took me a while, but I looked at the date on the copyright of the old software and it was 2005. So hopefully I'm going to be able to upgrade. I'd love to upgrade that camera. That camera is a little fuzzy. This camera, I actually bought that back when I was doing traveling all over the world. that camera was on top of my little laptop. So it's been around a while. So I need to replace that. The technology has changed and the focus might even be better.
So we have a user that just attended a beekeeping class at a local honey farm to
Neat.
complete the insect studies merit badge. So this must be a scout. Some of
Very
these viewers, I don't know if it's a scout or an adult or a parent. So
Yeah.
we got to wear the bee suit and handle the bees. Now scouts is considered a scout is considering this as a hobby, and I believe that beekeeping was at one point a merit badge.
Avery. Yeah.
Okay, there's quite a few retired merit badges.
Yeah. I think that they moved a lot of the requirements into the insect so that it would be the insect, I don't know, ecology or something. I have to look into that one, but that is beekeeping is big, especially in Florida. It's huge. We do a lot of our pollinating by bee.
It's not just honey, but it does pollinating for,
Yep. Orange groves. They put beehives out in the orange groves. They'll actually drop off the beehives themselves in the orange grove because the less stress you put on the bee, the better the honey is, the orange blossom honey. So that is neat. And you don't really move the hive that much. It's very difficult to move 300 hives. So it's not an easy job. So.
All right. So we have another comment here. In Scout Book, you can run the Eagle Scout application report, and it will fill in a lot of dates of the merit badges. So that's good to know.
Yes. Make sure that they are the dates that the merit badge was received, because that's what's, earned, not received. Keep that in mind. They have to be the day that they were earned. So not the court of honor date. So that's incredibly important because that application has to match up to what National has listed. It has to be there. Okay. Those dates have to be exact. January 20th is January 20th. That's the important part. Make sure they're in the correct order. The application actually has multiple merit badges. You have to draw a line through the ones that it's not. So if it's like swimming and life-saving, you choose which one that date is representing. And then you draw a line through the one it doesn't represent. So it's the date it was earned, not the date it was presented. Yep. So important.
So here's something, talking back and forth, looking for someone to sign off the insect studies. And here's actually one that, you can look up merit badge counselors on Scout Book, but parents can't. I think you have to be a Key 3, a Scoutmaster, Assistant Scoutmaster. I don't
Mainly
think
because the contact information for the merit badge counselor is there, and there's all kinds of legal problems with that. So it has to be under controls for the merit badge counselor. Now, your merit badge counselor list is a big part of what the Scoutmaster of the unit for the troop works with. and they can give you that information so that you can find those individuals. So set up a time and a meeting where you can talk with the Scoutmaster. This should be something the youth does. So that's a big part of this this process, the blue card process. The youth should be talking with the Scoutmaster, getting that information and writing it down. I know we don't teach handwriting, but writing down as best they can and handing that to the adults, to their parents. So that's the important bit. There has to be that Scoutmaster interaction when talking about the merit badge counselors and getting that contact information. And likewise, if the youth and the parent has to be with the youth, because we have to keep two deep leadership. Okay, there has to be an adult calling the other adult. So they can't be the youth calling the adults. So we have to keep within the youth protection training. So that's the other part of it. There's nothing wrong with sitting in on that Scoutmaster's conversation about merit badge with the youth. Nothing wrong with that. And you can take notes and make sure that you make that first contact and then have the youth on the phone and do the three-way conversation about when you're going to meet, who's going to be there, and so on. So keep the two deep leadership thing involved. That is a requirement of youth protection training. You have to keep that always. And it's pointless to go through all of that for one scout. Grab a buddy, grab many of your friends. A whole patrol could go and do that merit badge as a group. Nothing wrong with that. And it saves time on the counselor too.
You know, I found that my wife and I are spending so much time driving our kids, sometimes several hours away, to a merit badge opportunity. And I was, inspired by, as I mentioned, Scoutmaster Bucky I'm trying to nudge adults in all of the troops in our town. Hey, you're an architect. I bet you would love to do the architecture merit badge, or you're a golf course superintendent. Can you please do the, if you just meet the other adults in your unit and other units, you can really find some opportunities here.
That's true. That's true for every merit badge. And every merit badge counselor has other skills that they could use for that. The greenskeeper, okay, sustainability would be a natural for them. That's another merit badge. So these are things that can actually be there to kind of get that merit badge sash rolling down the hill. So
some of the people I've been nudging, someone that operates a shoe store downtown. Hey, salesmanship merit badge, or I think there's like a business merit badge for someone that's executive at an insurance agency.
Yeah.
So
sales. Yeah. There's a lot of different merit badge. So
there's a wide range.
Yeah. It's huge. So I think that the merit badge thing can be done. We just need people to step up and do it, and try to do it as, you will have to fill out an adult application. If you're not in a unit already, you will have to fill out an adult application. Most councils will pay any of the fees. They will take care of that. That's how much we need merit badge counselors. You will have to do the online training, especially the youth protection training. That's required. Every 2 years, that has to be updated. That is the requirements. Check out the video that we have here on the channel for merit badge counselor. MBC. That's the letters. So I think that's one of the merit badge that we have. It was an early season thing, so I think it was season 3 or something. So it was a while back. On that subject, I do want to mention that if you find a video that's really old and icky and doesn't really resonate with current stuff, please let me know, and we need to update it. So we need to put that in the season calendar and update. So I'm relying on everyone that's going through all the videos, and that is amazing to me that so many scouts and scouters are going through these videos and finding information and getting inspiration to do things. And that's innate. That's just not me. Okay. That's you. You're the one that's doing that. And it's wonderful. That is incredible. It blows my mind thinking that you're out there training yourself on something that you're interested in, and you're going to give that information freely back to your own unit, making you an incredible scouter. That is so important. Please keep up that work. That is something. Okay. Definitely keep doing that. And I'm so pleased and amazed. Every time I'm looking at the comments, I'm going, wow. It's a labor of love. We all do this. We're all volunteers. I'm a volunteer, Mike's a volunteer. We're all volunteers.
We're all volunteers, yeah.
Exactly.
So here's a comment. Knots and wood badge are the things that you can wear as an adult. I think, can adults also wear a religious emblem, or maybe that's a knot?
Yep. Yes, the religious emblem earned as a youth or an adult can be worn on the uniform that is for adults over 18. So they can wear that. I don't believe there's a knot per se for wood badge. I don't believe that training has a knot on its own. I believe it is represented by beads, a leather woggle, and a taupe neckerchief. This stuff. So that's what wood badge is represented by. So I don't believe there is a knot for wood badge.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people with patches that have the little beads on it, but I don't believe that that's official.
We have a comment. The wood badge knot is not official.
Yeah. See, so that's that. I've seen that. I've seen those knots, and there's different ones. There's one with just 2 beads. There's one with 3 beads, and some with 4. What that represents too is the wood badger that's gone through the course. If you've been on staff, you get 3 beads, and if you've been a course director, there's 4. So that's it. I believe that National has 1 national director, and I believe that's a 5 bead. I believe. I don't know. I have never seen a 5 bead. I know several 4 bead scouts or scouters, and I believe that Baden Powell was 6, so he had 6 beads. Yeah. Okay. So it goes up in numbers as it goes.
Okay. Let me see. One of my scouts compared the board of reviews as preparation to a future job interview. That's yes.
In many ways it is. And a lot of times the people that are running the board of review are trying to make sure that scouting opportunities are there, to make sure that scouting is working right and that everything is going well. They might ask a question. I'm just giving you, for instance, they might ask a question. If you were king for the day, what would you change in the scout unit? And they want to hear that feedback from the youth. And they're going to, if they have a great idea, that's not going to die on the vine. It's going to go to the scoutmaster and the committee and so on, so that they're going to learn more about how to make their unit better. So these are some great things that come out of a board of review. Again, I keep doing this. There is a video on the board of review, so it talks about that. So definitely look for that. Now, if you're a youth, go by what I said earlier. Don't try to cheat. There's no cheating. It's not a test. It's not, you're there to give information to the committee, the board, to find out that information, to make sure that everything's going well. And that's the important bit.
Okay. So someone, I might have misspoken something, but knots and wood badge are what you can earn as an adult. So I'm not sure if
Well,
I misspoke something, but there's a comment here. So,
well, the knots. I don't believe there's a knot for completing it. There is knots, and I believe the intention of those knots was not necessarily on the uniform in the knot area. I think they were meant for like hats and maybe under or on an epaulette or something like that. So they might be for different places.
Yeah,
but there is ones that are that shape, that size.
And here's a comment that family members of Baden-Powell, so I assume descendants, can wear 6 beads.
Oh,
that's an interesting thing. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, the 6 beads. And in fact, Baden-Powell, that was captured when he was in South Africa. The story is that one of the Zulu people that they were after, the Zulu chief or something like that, this is way back before scouting, left behind a necklace that was really super long, had thousands of these little wooden beads on it. And they were going to throw it away or burn it. So, and he said, well, that's pretty cool, so I'll keep it. And he brought it back with him to England and just put it away. Well, the scouting movement went on, and we had Gilwell Park donated to scouting. And then we started with the wood badge, and that's where it comes from. Those little beads are either the first ones that were out there were actually from that necklace that was taken from South Africa. So these are very interesting beads, and those would be given to the adult leaders, and 2 was given out, so it was wood badge. And originally it was meant to be worn on the campaign hat. It wasn't around the neck, it was around the campaign hat originally. So, but yeah, there's a lot of history there when you're dealing with scouting, and it goes way back. So there's a photograph of the Zulu chief actually wearing that necklace. So it's interesting. But as far as a square knot, one thing that gives it away is there's no square knot. There's only one knot that's not a square knot, and it actually is an overhand knot, and that's the District Award of Merit. So.
Okay, so in fact, Scoutmaster Bucky fact-checked his previous comment. In fact, there's someone, the program director of scouting in the UK, can wear the 6-bead necklace.
Neat.
And okay, so additional information. So
yeah. I don't think they went beyond 6. I don't believe they did.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, we are out of comments, and we've been going for over an hour and a half. So
it's amazing how fast this goes. It seems like we just started. But I
think we have some new members, new viewers, and
that's great.
Some gifted memberships that are much
donations. That's
so.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That is fantastic. So I am so grateful for this channel, for everything that's going on. This is awesome. Scouting is an awesome thing, and with your continued education, this is kind of an open forum, but it's a great place to ask questions. And of course, we've been doing this every week for the past 2 years, I think. And so it's ongoing. And I look forward to this. This is a great way to talk with all of the people on the channel. Please keep subscribing. Join the channel if you want. It's a very small amount. It's actually the smallest amount that YouTube will let me charge. I know scouting can be expensive sometimes, especially if you have a lot of kids. So if you have more than one, it's kind of pricey. But it's one of those things we just keep doing. And I am so grateful for everyone. Mike, I'm so grateful for you, my friend. He helps keep me on track and helps with my vision issues. As you could tell, it's not that good. And he helps me keep on track and keeps us on task. And one of the things I'm going to be doing, and this is I wanted to bring this up real quick. I plan to take the best of out of the live shows, because sometimes you can't spend 2 hours watching it, and I don't mind if you put it on fast motion. I don't mind. At least I'm not there. I don't talk like Biggie Boss, but I sure sound like I'm at double speed. So that being said, there will be some small videos being put out for the live show, and that way people don't miss things, and it'll be kind of a, what you missed on the live show. Could you imagine if you were on the live show, you could ask the question, that kind of thing. So that's something we're going to do. It's been in the process for a while, but I'm so proud of everything that Scouting does and what you're doing in Scouting, and being that leader, being that contact leader, and helping out and learning stuff offline. This is off, this isn't part of Scouting You. All right. This is just us. And I'm so glad that you've joined us and are getting involved. Feel free to join in. It costs nothing to be a subscriber. Okay. So that is always, it's always appreciated, and I'm grateful. So Mike, do you have anything before we go?
Nope, I don't think so. Thanks
All
to
right.
everyone for joining us, and thanks, Stan, for all that you do for Scouting. And I think we had a comment, amen, brother, to what you just said. So
That's awesome. Well, like I always say, till next time, we'll see you on the trail.